So this video is going to be about the language of fractions as we introduce them. And she is really a big one on the language of fractions and it being incredibly helpful to say them in a certain way and such that when you get to the higher things like multiplying by fractions or dividing by fractions, you're using similar language, and actually even with any kind of division. So a lot of the ways that she introduces it, fractions in the beginning, is with these pattern blocks. This is the yellow hexagon, and you could just call it the yellow shape if you haven't gone over it, but you also might want to teach the geometry terms while you're doing it. So a question would be, she would sort of start with is saying, how many red trapezoids are in a yellow hexagon? And you see she has a worksheet here that I'm basing this off of, this discussion off of, which obviously I can provide copies of or we can make. And so we'll just have one hole, and this is our hole, right? This is our one, and so we can say, oh, it takes 2 red trapezoids to make the yellow hexagon, right? How many blue rhombi can fit in there? Well, 3 rhombi, right, are needed and can fit in the yellow trapezoid. How many green triangles can fit in here? That's when I always have trouble at first. We'll quickly see. 6. You can have 6 triangles can fit on the yellow trapezoid. And so then they're going to go into the yellow hexagon is what part of the whole? Well, the yellow hexagon is the entire part of the whole. It is the whole. One yellow hexagon fits on it, so it's the whole thing, right? And then the red trapezoid, and this is where she talks about saying what it is and then telling its name again. So she says, okay, so there are, which red trapezoid is what part of the whole? It is one of 2 equal parts. It is one of 2 equal parts of the whole, and its name is 1/2. She talks a lot about naming it. Its name is 1/2. One of 2 equal parts. What is the blue rhombus part of the whole? Well, it's one of 3 equal parts. Its name is 1/3. It's one of 3 equal parts. The green triangle, it's one of 6 equal parts, and its name is 1/6, right? And then she goes on and says, okay, the green triangle, what about 2 rhombi? What are they? They're part of the whole. Well, they are 2 of 3 equal parts, and their names are 2/3. So with this activity, she also goes in to talk about how you should work with students on reunitizing. And by reunitizing, what she's saying here is that's a term. She's like, we should know it. And it means changing up what is the one, what is the whole. And here's this reunitizing chart that she has. Is this is the one, and this is the one, and having them change up what is the one. So if this whole shape here, right, if we put the 2 hexagons together and that is the new one, then you could say, okay, if that's the new one, then what is the red trapezoid? Well, the red trapezoid is now one of 4 equal parts, and therefore it's 1/4, right? And the rhombi is now one of 6 equal parts, and its name is 1/6. So this is where she talks about using these pattern blocks to really work on the language of fractions, reunitizing the one, and getting comfortable with the idea of what is it and what's its name, and really emphasizing the differences and the ideas between those in terms of their relationships. And even going ahead and spelling out 1/2 and talking about the language and the silent L, and 1/3 relating to 3. So obviously there's always a language component here that she is also focusing on.